All right, we're up. So this is We the Foundation. I'm Jamari Bradshaw, and I'm here with,
I'm Gia Dominguez.
and this is our podcast episode.
Welcome, everybody. In today's episode, we will be looking at leadership and culture in the New York Foundation of the Arts through the lens of a couple of articles, but mainly focusing on this one called The Culture Map by Erin Meyer. So, what is the New York Foundation of the Arts, right? It's a nonprofit arts organization that supports artists through things like grants, workshops, career development. It's a nonprofit organization. Did I mention that before? No, I did not, but that's also something. Well, yes, I did. That's something very essential to know. And according to their mission page and all about the organization, it focuses on empowering artists through diverse cultural and creative backgrounds.
So, how it can compare within the culture map? Maya explains exactly how cultural differences can shape leadership, communication, trust, basically things of that nature. We're also arguing how different organizations often struggle for when people from different diverse backgrounds have different expectations or different ways or beliefs and methods about things as far as authority, feedback, and collaboration, and also making decisions. So things like the New York Foundation of Arts, they work with a lot of people from different backgrounds, so they're very, yeah, like it's varied and diverse amongst different cultures, backgrounds, communication styles, but they can definitely work together when it comes down to it. So they have like their main ideas, or the main ideas that they had that we'll be mainly focusing on. First one being leadership in multicultural arts and organizations. Second being cultural diversity and communication in the workplace, and life for employees unionizing. That's an interesting one because that was like something that we found as recently just throughout the research, which is pretty intriguing. Don't you think?
Definitely. So we'll get into it part by part. So let's get into part one about the leadership in multicultural arts organizations. I feel like this is the perfect way to start it because there's like the essence of this entire podcast is just talking about leadership and how it exists in organizations and how it leads people, how it helps people, how it might not help people, things of that nature. So we're gonna look through it through the lens of the one of the main concepts in the culture map, which was the difference between egalitarian and hierarchical. I can never say that word right. Leadership styles. So just to like sum up what each are, like hierarchical organizations, it's more like leaderships are like top down, like employees are expected to follow authority, major decisions by leadership, and there are more of an approval structure. Like there's not much say. It kind of goes through like a funnel system, as opposed to egalitarian. It's more collaborative. Like employees are encouraged to like contribute ideas, participate in discussions that essentially affect all of the organization.
Would you consider like is there like one that you consider maybe that's better? So like between hierarchical or egalitarian, like on a
Um,
personal belief?
Me personally, I think egalitarian is something I've learned to love. I am someone who very much likes the idea of structure, but also like I feel like everybody's voice should be heard when it comes to being in an organization or in a group, because that means everybody's input is being seen and noticed. What about you?
Yeah, I agree. I've definitely seen like a lot more things work out better when it comes to egalitarian. I just never knew there was a term for it up until now. But yeah, like when it comes to that more than like a hierarchical, it's not like, oh, everything gotta have order and structure and they bow to one person or some sort or whatever. Like there's not somebody that always has to call the shots or lead it, but everyone else can contribute or pull their own weight and they can still work just fine depending on whatever that project or community or organization is. It's like when everyone works together, despite coming from different backgrounds or having different ways of going about things, if they can work together and communicate on something, or they can like participate, team up and do things, and it can go well, then like if that works best for them, then it works best for them. But we definitely seen how things like that kind of lead to much more better results because that gives basically it gives that freedom for everybody to like express themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely agree. And it seems like the New York Foundation of the Arts also agrees because we were looking into the New York Foundation of the Arts. The organization um, really presents itself as a place to be collaborative and artist centered. So they're designed to like wanna be in the kind of like the room where it happens when it comes to the artists, kind of see the build up of them, really help them get where they want to be. And it also seems that way when it comes to their internal leadership. I noticed that they have a lot of different sectors in their organization that handle different things. However, it is a group consensus when it comes to bigger decisions. So they manage different things like administration, funding, programming, but realistically, like they all work together to like make certain decisions. But this is mostly outside looking in, based on the not activities, like the programming they have in place, the way they describe like their their staffing and the way they go about it. I noticed there's not really like one single person overseeing something. It's usually like a team of at least of two people. Um, so yeah.
So the main, I guess, key point you could take away from that is it creates an important challenge for multicultural organizations, especially for leaders, because they got to balance structure and organization with openness and collaboration. You got to be open to everyone's ideas. Same time, you don't want to, I guess, give too much leeway, or you don't want to be too lenient when it comes to people kind of going about things on their own, because sometimes even that can get out of hand. So it is understanding why there might be some hierarchical power when it does come to certain organizations, because there still needs to be at least some sort of common ground. Like there still has to be that something or someone that can kind of keep things just level-headed, or just keep things grounded, so nothing is out of control or out of order, or there's not one thing kind of overdoing more than the rest.
Agreed, definitely. I feel like that creates like a very positive environment too. Like the organization seems happy and they seem like they're doing everything right. When it comes to like giving a voice to everyone involved. But we'll deep dive more into that. Let's move on to the next thing we wanted to talk about. Cultural diversity and communication in the workplace. I feel like that's another good segue from what we talked about overall leadership. And now let's dig into like communication. So the New York Foundation of the Arts, when looking at them and their e-board, it was pretty diverse, I would say. Not only in like backgrounds, but also in different arts concentrations. Like there's a lot of people who have a dance background or visual arts, music, literature, which were all really great things. And I feel like surrounding people in that space is really good in decision making, and maybe they could bring about different perspectives. So, like for example, like when like in the light of culture map, communication across all cultures is one idea that Meyer talks about, and the idea of direct communication versus indirect communication. And I feel like in an organization like the NYFA, it's very relevant because they support people from different backgrounds, and often backgrounds that are minorities. So I feel like communication and really being honest and wanting to help people is something that really shines in an organization like NYFA.
Basically, overall, just the support. Like there's a lot of support when it comes to Nightfall, and also just the communication between the artists, administrators, educators, whatever you may think of. Just like overall in that company, in that organization, there's so many groups that come from those cultural backgrounds. So there's definitely gonna be a whole heap of communication expectations. Some may differ and vary, but overall they can still collaborate.
Definitely. And hmm, I would say like all these things could really hmm, I'm kind of reading the question like what kind of communication do you think would best support diverse artists? Like I kind of talked about how direct it sounds like they use direct communication, but what do you feel like is best that would like work for an organization like this?
Well, I know in one of the sections of the website, they do have like one-to-one, I think like peer mentor workshops
Ah, okay.
or something like that. I know I've seen something somewhere, I could be wrong, but I know something close to that matter. They have something where they work with people. So I know, especially with things like that, they definitely have more of direct feedback when it comes to that. And I'm pretty sure they don't shy away from telling the truth or just giving their honest opinion on how they might see about something. Like, they're not gonna beat around the bush for everything. You can't really do that for a lot of people. Like, regardless of sensitivity or whatnot, you're gonna have to take harsh feedback. That's just how it is in life. So especially when it comes to organizations like this one in particular, yeah, when it comes to obviously wanting to make sure that you're good at, like the people are good at what they're doing, or they're making sure they're getting their, I guess, like maybe money's worth, or just getting their time and like energy properly utilized, it's definitely gonna have to come with definitely taking some criticism, taking some feedback on certain things, on whatever certain like flaws or things it may be that mentor or educator is pointing out. So you're pretty much gonna have to take that with a grain of salt. You're gonna have to make sure, like obviously, you just keep an open mind about it. You go about exactly like whatever things they pointed out. They pointed that out, and then you take that, you learn from it, and then you just try to come back more, like come back stronger with that, or just work on whatever it is may be. Just work on whatever things might need improvement. Whatever things they point out, work on that, improving that, and then basically the feedback on those would be better. But obviously, where you're not going to be able to grow or be able to master something if you don't like take that feedback, if you don't take that criticism, like you're gonna have to fall in order to get back up and rise again. That's just how it is.
Agreed. And I feel like with them doing something like one-on-one, that definitely highlights that and like the care that really goes into it. Because there could be like an organization where it's one artist sitting in front of like a group of like 10 people and they're all looking at their work and critiquing them. But the one-on-one aspect is something that's really nice that they do. But I know that happens for like what's it called for the artists, but I'm wondering how does that work within the internal system? I'm not gonna lie. I was doing my own personal research. It was kind of hard to look at that internal structure, but I hope that that's something that shines when it happens, like when in light of like their employees, which fortunately, apparently, according to recent news, is something that is lacking.
Yeah, something about them unionizing, which that kind of took me by surprise seeing it. But basically, a recent development that connects strongly to the culture map is the movement of night for employees to unionize. Which again is surprising, by the way, because you would think that an organization like that they would have most things kind of like up to par, or at least getting regulated. But that kind of seems not to be the case. And apparently, the real reason for this using unionization is to advocate for employee concerns and workplace improvements.
Yeah, definitely. I was reading, we're sourcing this from an article. We'll link that in the chat. There's no chat, but um, we're sourcing this from this article that was seen in Arts News, and this actually occurred recently, like very recently, like September 2025, which is not a world away at all. That was less than a year ago. And
It's a few months back.
yeah, oh wow, I'm losing my marbles. Apologies. A few months back. Um, like it, I found it very surprising, especially when looking at the first thing you see about like communication, about them valuing things like transparency and like really advocating for people to have a voice, is that those are the things that employees were saying was lacking, like the communication, the transparency from higher ups about things like pay and like being having voices heard about certain concerns, and just overall workplace quote unquote power. Wow, that was a big word, power.
Right. Yeah, I guess in a way, in a sense, it connects to Maya's discussion of authority and trust, heavy on authority. Because in a way, like Maya kind of explains in a way of how cultures can differ and how comfortable people are with challenging leadership. So in some environments, workers may openly speak up against management. In others, some may avoid the confrontation because of how respected that authority is. So it really depends on how certain cultures are or how certain organizations are. Some might not be afraid to challenge an authority when they need to, when they shouldn't. So like you see like those like things about those companies, different companies or other organizations, workers going on strike, not working until there's certain pay. And then others you hear complaints here and there, but you don't really see much being done. You don't really hear like any results or any change. Like not much being done apart from just more complaints adding up, more things multiplying.
Mm. I think the trust, like also in light of Meyer about like task-based versus relationship-based trust. Basically like it's a relationship to build like results and compliance over a relationship that's more like just building overall personal connections emotionally and just like, you know, like personal. And I feel like for an organization that, as I said before, like really focus on the care of people and wanting to see them succeed, that it sounds like they're moving towards like a task-based trust, that people only act a certain way or ask of certain things to just get a result. There's clearly some interpersonal relationships that are not, I mean, not relationships, interpersonal like issues regarding things like being like lack of communication and truly hearing employees out because they have to do something like going out and unionizing and what's the word, protesting and doing all those things. So I don't know, like, do you think organizations could promote creativity while employees internally feel disconnected from decision making? Like, is that something that you think could ever like be a possibility? Is it something that they should definitely improve on?
I mean, if there's a unionization thing happening in the first place, then yeah, I guess so. I don't know, if, like cause like from the looks of things right now, it doesn't really seem like much has changed yet. This is like something new that just started up. So this would kind of be more of like a stay tuned for updates kind of thing. But promoting creativity, I guess so. When you got people kind of forming together to do something, I guess you could say something sparks from that because it leads to an overall outcome or it leads to somewhere with the more effort that they're putting into something, they're making something known or doing different things as a form of expression. So I guess yeah, like organizations do kind of promote creativity in some sort of way, especially publicly.
I think the way they promote their creativity and like pushing this kind of narrative of kind of organization they are is through like their like how they feel specifically towards their artists, but I think they need to start looking within, and that's how they'll be able to like improve their overall like the way their organization is now identified. Because outside looking in for the work they're doing, they seem like a great organization that really helps others, that care. But I feel like the workplace culture and it being aired out as this kind of place where it's not, it's affecting their like organizational identity, like how people are viewing them, people wanting to go for them for help and stuff like that. So I think if they put the same care as they do with their artists and what they promote, that they'll be just fine. That's really something that I suggest they look into, that structure they built, and keep the same line of respect, same line of communication for the both. Yeah.
Oh, that was loud. Yeah, but I think overall, like I guess overall, like when you think about it, NIFA really does kind of reflect many of the cultural and leadership tensions that are also discussed in the culture map.
Definitely.
The organization itself, it operates in a multicultural environment. So leadership, communication, trust, those are constantly shaped by cultural differences.
Definitely. And we saw that through like the major themes we talked about, like the balance between the hierarchical, collaborative, the impact of communication styles and cultures. And like not only like culture talking about like your ethnic background, but just even workplace culture and how the connection between like workplace power and employee voice, like how that can change. And like we saw that through the unionization. Definitely. So what overall, what do you think that like what organizations like NIFA and like other nonprofits that work with artists would succeed best in, or should succeed best in, with an organization who does things like take care of their artists?
I would say they will probably succeed best when that main component, like leadership, encourages collaboration, or when they respect the different communication styles, or maybe when it creates those inclusive spaces for employees and also the artists. It's obviously, a priority for both, but also the balances that institutional structures have along with creative freedom. So I think those four components definitely mean a lot.
Definitely. Yeah, I 100% agree on everything you just said. And I really hope that, or like, they continue to show these things because, especially with what's going on in the world, like, we need organizations like this more than ever. Not only, like, we can't not trust, but, like, they might not have the funding or anything, but they have the heart. They have the kind of like the fuel to fire the artists of the world, to encourage us to keep going. So it starts with it. So yeah, ultimately, this organization, as well as the culture map, it was a really great book to look into. It helps us understand leadership is just not authority. It's also about really understanding how culture shapes the way we communicate, collaborate, and just experience the space in general. So yeah, that's all we have for you today. Thank y'all for listening to our podcast. Jamari, anything to say?
Yeah, thank you too, Gia. This has been We the Foundation. Thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening, y'all. Thank you.